Welcome to the cult.
Yes. Welcome to Death 2. No, hold on. Welcome to our monthly roundup of Wigan Cult Film Club selections up here in HMV in Wigan. I'm Dave, Tony's here, Rob's here as well. And we've picked out a few films that we think people might like. Now, I'm going to have to be quick because I'm picking a lad up from school and I've got to buy a couple of pasties on the way back as well. So, you know, you've got to get your priorities right. We've all picked a selection of things from Arrow this month. Is that right?
That's correct.
Arrow's got an offer on you can find out for yourself, or Tony's going to explain it in about 5 minutes because I don't know what's going on. But they've got plenty of delicious things out at the minute at delicious prices. Sale, backhander, and all that stuff. And we've just decided to go through the Arrow stuff because it's relevant at the minute and pick out what they've got out at the minute and just stuff that we like. Right, so I'm going to start us off. Let's do Death 2 swipe. My first choice, the sad loss of Val Kilmer this week, has got me reminiscing about True Romance. Possibly one of my favourite Tarantino films, even though Tarantino didn't direct it. Most people, I'm guessing, on this group will have heard of it. It's just a story of a lad who stumbles over a load of drugs and a hooker who he falls in love with, and then they decide to run off and chaos ensues with a million bit part characters. But what it's great for, I think, is everybody in it steals the show, and it's kind of impossible to do that when you've got so many people in one film. You've got Christopher Walken, you've got Dennis Hopper, you've got Gary Oldman, bloody everybody, Tony Soprano, James Gandolfini, people, they're all over this film, and every one of them's got a great line. And if you watch that and don't come out quoting that, like the guy on the till said, well, I won't tell you the quote, but you'll come away from that glad that you've seen it. But anyway, Val Kilmer's in there, and you never see his face. He pops up as the ghost of Elvis to keep our main character on the straight and narrow. And he's great in it. He's really good in it. So True Romance, my first selection. Second selection, I've gone for Clive Barker's Nightbreed. Clive Barker made his name with Hellraiser back in the day, which is a great horror. And I think everybody expected Clive Barker to just roll them all out, you know, all these like the things that were as good as Hellraiser that were going to change horror. And he got the famous quote off Stephen King saying, "I've seen the future of horror, and its name is Clive Barker." And what he did do is he ended up putting out all the stuff he liked doing. So he had like books like, it was a Great and Secret Show and stuff like that. He put out loads of dead good comics as well at the time. The Hellraiser, they were under the banner of Hellraiser, but there were loads of brilliant little short stories in it that came from his books of blood and things like that. But Nightbreed was kind of unusual in that the marketing that went with it was actually better than the film in a way. There was a book that came out. It's basically about this dude who finds this secret cabal of these creatures who have all sort of gathered together on the run in a way. What's it called? Midian, the place where he finds them. Yeah, it's called Midian, yeah. But this book came out at the time, and it was all these like background photography, like concept art things of all the people who lived in this town, Midian. There's the guy who looks like the moon because he looked at the moon too long. You know, there's another fellow with loads of slashes in him and tentacle dreads and all this kind of stuff. But it's a great film for like creature design and stuff like that. And it's Clive Barker, so it's got a touch of the madness in it. But Cronenberg's in it in what I think is his best role, where he plays a serial killer, and he's got this mask that he puts on, and you're like, hold on a minute, give us a sec, I don't particularly want them nightmares. But it's great. Check out Nightbreed. My final selection as well, before the other guys come on. Primer. Now this has actually come with Primer and Upstream Colour, the two films by Shane Carruth. Primer is one of them films where you don't know what's going on. Right? If somebody knows what's going on in Primer, put a comment on this video, right? Because I do not, and I've seen it 3 times. It's an experience. It's about a dude and his mate who is trying to start a business by making something in their garage, and it's never really explained. But what you slowly realise is that they've stumbled across time travel. And again, it's never really explained, but you're following them physically making stuff that looks like it works. And it's almost like a documentary. And by the time you get to the end, the amount of stuff that's gone on to lead you to where you are just leaves you in a pool. I don't know what happens. And if anyone does, that's the challenge. If you like your cult films, Primer's a great one, because you just need to bump into someone in the street and be saying like, you seen Primer? And they'll go, oh geez, yeah. So it's an experience, but it's worth seeing. So even if it's not like this version where you get the two filmed in it, I've not seen Upstream Colour myself. If it's anything like Primer, you can get lost, but at the same time, I also want to see it as well. So they're my three choices for this week's Def 2. Sorry, I mean Wigan Cult Film Club here in HMV. I'm going to hand you over to one of these two, but it's going to be a surprise as to who it is. Swipe left.
Well, on to me. It's Tony, Wigan Cult Film Club. As Dave said in the last video, that the reason that we've put the Arrow titles out this month in the Wigan Cult Film Club Recommends is the fact that majority of the stuff, especially the back catalogue titles, are on sale. So currently you can see some of the stuff that Dave held up, they'll have a different price tag on them. If you come in store and have a look, some of the older catalogue titles will be $8.99, like Nightbreed that he held up was $8.99. Some of the newer titles, or titles that have been out sort of around the 12-month to 18-month period, they tend to come to $9.99. The 4K stuff tends to do the same. Box set stuff varies in price, but there's some really good deals on box set stuff at the moment. If you can't find the stuff in store, you could definitely find it on HMV's website. What I will say at the moment, HMV's website is slightly cheaper than Arrow Video's online store. So the back catalogue titles, the older stuff, they're at $8.99 here, currently either £9 or £10 on the Arrow store at the moment. So I'd imagine at some point the price may go up in HMV to match what's happening on Arrow Video's level, or maybe not. Maybe they've got a deal where they can keep it stuff at $8.99. I don't know, but when they do come on a special offer, if you want to dip into this kind of stuff and you want to dip into back catalogue titles, these are the price points you want to be dipping in at. So like for Nightbreed that Dave showed, for $8.99, obviously you get, it's a 2-disc set, it's a 2K remaster with an absolute plethora of extras on it. For £9, it's a no-brainer really. So that's the reason that we've gone down this line, and it starts from the beginning of April, runs to the come to the end of April. The sale's always called Easter Carnage. They do it every single year. There's nothing new, other than new titles will come in the sale line at some point. So Dave picked his first three, picked True Romance, Nightbreed and Primer. The first one I've gone with is my all-time favourite Toby Hooper film, Life Force. Crazy, weird zombie sci-fi film that's from the 80s. It screams the 80s. I think, personally, for me, the best thing that Toby Hooper did, forget Texas Chainsaw, forget all that nonsense, this is the best thing he did. It's absolutely batshit. It's one of the craziest things. The visual in-camera special effects are phenomenal coming to the back end of it. And it starts off as a run-of-the-mill sort of sci-fi kind of zombie film. It picks up steam. It's typically British till you get to the end of it, and then it just goes nuts. It's like the whole of London's just dystopian. There's people eating each other. There's vampires turning up from nowhere. You've no idea why. It's brilliant. Yeah, some of the effects are a little bit dated in it now, but as far as a visual feast of 80s Toby Hooper stuff goes, you cannot go wrong with Life Force. Now, it's currently $8.99. The 4K of this is out, as well as, I don't know if this was a 4K. No, this is only done in a 1080p definition. So the 4K, this looks good, so I'd imagine the 4K looks brilliant. But that'll take a little while to come down in price. So for the time being, Life Force for $8.99, it's a must, a definite must if you're into Toby Hooper films.
Hello, it's me, Rob. You've let me have another go. How good's that? So, right, Tony picked Life Force, best Toby Hooper film, which I agree with. Second best Toby Hooper film, Funhouse. Now, it came out at the time when there's loads and loads of early 80s slashers, and you would assume it's an early 80s slasher, which it sort of is, but at the same time, it's got this fantastic vibe of a sort of seedy carnival atmosphere in a kind of a twisted, weird sort of the way it's lit and the night time and all the freaky carnival people. It's got a great atmosphere, and it's just a really, really weird and odd film in a slashery sort of way, which is good. So yeah, that's my first choice. Second choice, and I'm cheating here because I've actually got a massive box set of 6 beauty films here, 6 films. But the thing is, right, this is amazing bargain at this price as well. Now all these are classic Rob's Retro Corner 1960s Vincent Price movies, and basically they're all adaptations of Edgar Allan Poe short stories, apart from one which is actually an adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft, but it's kind of Edgar Allan Poe in style, the way they've done it. But they're really, really classic films. You like a bit of Vincent Price, it's kind of America's answer to the Hammer horror movies, full of atmosphere, really nicely directed. Vincent Price hamming it up like the only way that he does, and they just look great, and they've got all the atmosphere and the music and everything else, and these are really, really nice prints, and it's an absolute bargain at this price, and you can't go wrong.
My next choice is Nightmare at Noon. And probably most of you saying, Tony, what the hell is Nightmare at Noon? Nightmare at Noon is a fantastic Nico Masterakis film. So if you know the back catalogue of Nico Masterakis films, you'll know that he was a Greek director that's got some controversy behind him. But when it came to making this sort of low-budget action sci-fi horror films, he was fantastic on it. Shoestring budget films, really, really low-end actors, like loads of actors, like to other roles in loads of the films that he did. But the good thing about them is they're all solidly entertaining, like really entertaining. And Nightmare at Noon is up there as one of the better ones, even though it's a little bit crap at the same time. Typical Nico Masterakis, it's all shot in one area that makes you feel like it's somewhere else, but I'll guarantee you it's either shot in Greece or Italy, because he got loads of money knocked off for filming in them 2 countries. But it turns out there's been some weird shenanigans going on in a small town. People are turning into like crazy, sort of like zombie-esque kind of creatures, but they're all tooled up, they've all got weapons, they're all attacking people for no apparent reason, driving into each other with cars, taking to each other with machetes and axes and all kinds of things. And it turns out that the local sheriff has got to get down to the bottom of it, and it turns out that someone's poisoned the water hole, and it's really, really good. If you know of any other Nico Masterakis films, you'll know that he had one film that was in the Video Nasties list. He did numerous other things, but there's also a lovely box set out by Arrow at the moment, which consists of, I think he said 5 or 6 of his lesser known titles, like straight to VHS stuff that he did in the 80s, very early 90s. That's worth a pick up as well. But if you're really looking to dig your teeth into this kind of stuff, and you don't want to go down the Video Nasties way, but you still want that edge of horror that feels like it's Video Nasty, Nightmare at Noon, you cannot go wrong with it. Finally, for a selection of the Arrow catalogue, or our back catalogue stuff, it was the Arrow video set. So the sort of VHS classics of Charles Band that was put together in the one big set. Now initially when this first came out, there is a bigger collector's set than this that's got posters for each film. It's got a really good booklet in there. I think there was like some stickers in there as well, or something else. But when that set first came out, I think it was around the £50 mark, and that's fine if you want the posters and everything else that went along with it. But this release, the sort of cut down budget release they did of it, for $29.99, cannot go wrong with it. 6 films that's in there, sorry, the 5 films that's in there. Robot Jocks, which we showed at the club a couple of months back, went down fantastically. My favourite, Arena. Cellar Dweller, which is amazing. That was a brilliant straight to VHS horror film from back in the day. Dolls, which is another really good film. And Dungeon Master, which is a bizarre sci-fi fantasy action kind of film that looks like it was filmed in someone's living room, which was probably in Charles Band's living room, to be fair, when you look at it. All these films work perfectly in this set. Really good quality. Loads of good special features on this set. Like I say, if you want the better version of this, get the bigger set. But again, if you just want the films, this set on sale at the moment for $29.99. You can't go wrong with it. All of them are fantastic, especially Dungeon Master on this set, because it's got the re-edited version. So if you're aware of the original film when it comes to VHS, it feels like it's out of sync. It's edited quite different, because different parts of the film that happen out of the timeline and you can't get your head around why. There's no real reason to it. There's a cut on this under an alternative title that re-edits it and puts it all back together in the original way that it should have been filmed out, and it works brilliantly. It sort of ticks way more boxes. Nice to get Arena. Again, Arena's my favourite in this one. If you want WWF style UFC fighting in space, where one human is taking on every alien species you can think of, then Arena's definitely the film for you. It's tongue-in-cheek, it's daft. If you remember the kids' cartoon from back in the day, from the 80s, Galaxy High or Galaxy High School it was known, it feels like that. It's got that really weird vibe to it. And that's the only way I can describe it to you. It feels like that cartoon, but while you're watching WWF or UFC, it's just ultimate fighting in space, but it's brilliant. Again, Robot Jock showed that at the club a couple of months back. That went down really well. To be fair, if you look at the 5 films in the set, it's probably the best film. It's shot better than any other films. You can tell some care and attention went to it. Stop motion along with live action along with puppets all together in same shots and same scenes works stupendously in this film. It's hard to pick out what's a puppet, what's stop motion and what was live action, because it just seamlessly blends together. It's really, really good. So if you're looking for something, 5 films that are straight from the video shop era, you cannot go wrong with that set. So that's it. That's all 8 films for us this month from the Arrow video section. Come down to HMV, check out what they've got, because there's loads of other stuff on sale here. There's tons and tons of titles for $8.99. There's tons and tons of 4K titles that are around the sort of like £15 to £18 mark that's in the sale. And box set stuff, I mean, just picking stuff off the shelf at the moment. The Herschel Gordon Lewis set's down to 30 quid. You know what I mean? You really can't go wrong. The Hellraiser 4 set, that's here as well as. Everything's marked down. The Ring collection is $24.99. There's some real good bargains to be had. So get down to this HMV. If you're not in the Wigan area, then get down to your local HMV, whichever town or city that you're in. Until the next one, everybody, just remember, keep it cult.